What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
It's the Life on Life's Terms podcast, and I'm Tom Robinson, a grateful recovering addict. And like I always say, we are not affiliated with any 12-step program, although we do endorse them. We do love them.
My name is Chris Mandeville. I'm a recovered heroin addict. We are here at a New Way Recovery Center in Quincy, Mass.
Great
Quincy
place.
Ave. Very grateful to them for allowing us to bring you this podcast from their lovely establishment.
Thank you very much.
So tonight is something that we started within the past couple months. We do one discussion.
It's the discussion night.
Yeah, discussion episode
Per month.
And we usually bring in two guests so that we can, have lots of different input or opinions or
we try to.
Yeah, because
Teresa had center stage by herself.
Yes, Teresa did. Because even in everyone here has been in 12-step fellowship. So, say you have a group conscience, a minority opinion can sway the whole entire room. You know what I mean? And
I hear it somehow, somewhere.
yeah,
It's not good.
Oh, another thing I forgot to do the microphone focus right.
Oh.
So it's going to be recording from there. So we may have to end this live stream and start again real quick, right?
Yeah. Give us 2
So,
seconds, everybody.
yeah.
Sorry.
So let me copy this. Sorry, guys. The sound quality will be much better when we have it the right way. So we'll be right back.
What happened? What's going on with the? Somehow we have something broadcasting that.
I think it was this.
Oh, you do?
I think it was the speakers on this.
Oh, that's what it was.
So now we got to do it again.
Shit.
So go to live video. Where is it? I just copied it. Oh, before I even do this. I don't know why it won't go to default on that all the time.
So did you put it on it?
Yeah.
All right.
But we're still live on
YouTube.
yeah.
Son of a.
Yeah, where am I hearing it from?
That was his phone.
Oh.
Yeah, I just turned it on for a second.
Sounded good on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Going to my wife, yeah.
It's on YouTube too?
Yep. It's nobody watches. We're kind of hurting. For our next phase of development, what I'm thinking is going to be great is we get somebody on the board who's savvy with all this stuff,
Right.
and that's
Yes.
going to really help.
So check in.
Yeah. I'm
Wait.
certainly not. I should be, but I kind of just started investing in people to help me in that department too, like building the website.
All right.
And
We ready?
helping with social
Yep.
media.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Sorry about that, everybody. We're back. Hopefully
Yep.
it sounds a little better now.
Yeah, little hiccup there.
Little hiccup. We're still a work in progress, believe it or not, after a
Yep.
couple of years. But
Just a bunch of blue collar guys trying to do technical shit
Yeah,
that don't
it's-
work out always.
it won't be too long before we go from amateurs to professionals, though.
Yes, hopefully.
I believe. Yeah.
So once again, like I said, we're having a discussion,
Sorry.
and we bring a couple people in so that we have different points of view. So tonight we have Mike Skinny Cavallo and Jack Harper, and
The voice.
yeah, Jack the Voice Harper.
Fly me to the moon. You got it, baby.
So, I think a lot of the people that watch this know both of these guys. Did you get to share that? Did you get the notification on your phone?
Yeah.
For this one?
I still don't know what I'm doing.
All right. You want me to do it?
Yeah, do you know how to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So, So anyway, the
All right,
discussion topic tonight is treatment. We're going to talk about treatment. I'm sure there'll be some reminiscing on when we went through treatment. Jack, you're a recovery coach,
Yeah.
right? So Jack's going to tell about his personal experience working in treatment. Right, and we've all been through treatment.
All set.
And the state of treatment in Massachusetts. And
Yes.
I've got a lot of fairly strong opinions on the subject.
Yeah, I mean, there was
surprisingly, even
there was
though
a
I've
time
never
when
worked.
there was lots of beds in Massachusetts, and they're starting to get back up there now. We got the whole Long Island issue.
Yeah.
Um,
I made the mistake of going to that dog and pony show in
Hey,
Squanah.
nothing for nothing, but that cartoon cracked me up because
You should have saw. I mean, I
it's tough, man.
they almost had to ask me to leave a couple
Really?
of times. Yeah, because everything that they brought, trying to block it. I had an answer for them, and it was sort of like 10 of us and 300 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's
it is what it is. I believe it's still going to go through. They're not asking, because the mayor of Quincy doesn't want it, doesn't mean it's not going to go. It's a Boston property.
right. And
So the points that I brought up is if you're so worried about the traffic, I worked out there for 3 years. Not one person has said anything about the traffic, about all the alcoholics coming out of Marina Bay.
right.
It's comical. And all they had was a bus going from North Quincy right out to the
And
island.
that's the only other vehicles are
people taking people to
people
detox.
taking people to
Yeah.
detox,
Right on.
people that work there. I don't think there was residents that had vehicles. No.
No.
I mean,
No,
maybe at some point they
but
may,
but
but
they couldn't have it and be on the island.
right.
Right.
And I know that the Quincy mayor is for recovery.
Right.
I know he is.
Right. He's just not for it there.
And reason being, that area doesn't want it going through there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And as crappy as it is, it's an election year, and like he's, you know
Right.
how that shit goes.
Yeah.
Because he's done a lot as far as recovery. City of Quincy was the first police force to ever carry Narcan.
Oh, and
You know what I
and
mean?
I made a point of saying that at
Mhm.
one of the meetings. He wasn't there for that meeting, but a lot of suits were there, a lot of lawyers, and
Yeah.
a lot of people that, frankly, ain't seen the ball since the kickoff when it comes to recovery. They wanted to talk about the X's and O's and the scientists and
Yeah.
the water and the cement and all that.
Yeah.
When the real and the ironic thing is back in the day with the serious stigma, that was like nice. Put the addicts out in the island. Nobody has to see them. It's
Yeah,
uncomfortable for us anyway.
Yeah.
Put them out on the island,
Mm.
and then they bust 700 and something people off of that island, and didn't let them go back for their stuff, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why Melena Cass is packed, and
Oh, absolutely.
they had a 160 bed shelter on Southampton Street, and that was their answer to the Long Island. This is years later, and we're still
Yes. Yes.
paying for that.
Yeah, I knew people that were out there.
Right.
One girl I know, they did let her go back there and grab like one bag, a trash bag of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
surprised. Yeah,
and
they
so
had to
you-
go to different areas, and all the places in Boston were like struggling to.
Oh yeah, there wasn't enough
to-
beds as it was, and now you're shoving 700 more people that way.
Right.
And like another thing, so these people are complaining about the traffic.
Hmm.
What about the traffic for the 5,500 condos that have gone up in the past 3 years?
Yeah, well, that's just. But listen,
You know what I mean?
and let's be honest.
That's not
They're getting
really
tax
discussed.
money for that. They're not getting tax money for a city of Boston property out in the island.
Right.
So I
True.
think.
True that.
So I
get
think
you
that
on
might
that
have
one.
something to do with it, But
Right.
I probably should stay off of that. I'm a little emotional about that piece because I work there and it's personal to me. So.
Yeah, I spent
I've
a
got
lot of
some-
time out there trying to
Yeah.
help people. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I wasn't trying to help people. I just spent a lot of time out there.
Right on. Right
Right.
on.
But I know a lot of people that got help out there as well.
Let's be honest. If it was a casino, we would have a Golden Gate Bridge. We would have hourly shuttles from the airport You know what I mean?
If
So let's be honest.
if it was
it's
condos.
it's addicts out there. Oh,
if it was
and-
condos,
and-
it wouldn't be an issue.
and mark my words, it's only not condos because it's in the bylaws of the land that you can't have it on there.
Right.
You know?
Right. It was like
When
written
Ray
up so
Menino
that it
was still
stayed that way.
alive, they asked him, the people from the neighborhoods, they asked if they could use the island for bird watch. He said no. Nobody cared about that island when it was a TB hospital and it was abandoned. No, that's for recovery now. And he stood firm on that. It seemed like a few months after he passed, the buses left the island and, everyone, So it broke my heart, you know, but I'm still hopeful that that comes to pass. It's going to take a few years.
I
now,
think it's going to
so-
take some time.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? But it's not impossible.
Right.
You know.
But space isn't the issue. I go by. I live in Braintree, and I go by the abandoned hotel there.
Yep.
You know, I would go to Quincy Hospital when someone overdosed, and I was on the overnight. One of my first jobs in recovery.
All of
and
that room.
They just do the ER, emergency room, and then above there, it's like spooky. It's all triaged for hospital patients. You can have a detox on 2 floors.
There's so much. That was just sold.
Yeah, I know.
That was
I know.
just sold for short money.
I know, and they're not they're not okay in the plans for that either, because the people in the neighborhood aren't crazy about the traffic that's going to be going through there. Yeah,
Studies were done. It's not going to affect the traffic.
right.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you study?
Right.
You know.
Right.
Like,
Right
it's-
on.
So, as far as treatment goes, did you go to treatment, Skinny, or did you just do AA, or what did you do?
This time around? I mean, I've been to, 30 to 40 detoxes. I've been to, 10 different long-term, 90-plus day places in 5 different states, I think. And this last time, I went from the Dimmock Street detox to Logan Airport, and I overdosed at Logan Airport.
Yes, I remember the
that.
story.
Yes, with
now.
you. Yeah.
Wow.
Dad outside.
And then after I got out of Mass General, I went out to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I went to a program out there, which was great, but it was only 30 days, and I went into like a very unstructured, sober living place afterwards, and I just wasn't ready. And
then New Jersey?
then Jersey,
Yeah,
I went
Jersey,
to
okay.
inpatient 350 days place.
Well, how many
That's-
months is that? That's
It was from June to June.
June
It's
to
a
June.
year,
That's
yeah.
a year,
Yeah.
yeah.
June
365.
June
27th to June 15th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no
now,
phone, no internet,
it.
no
Was there
cigarettes, no
maintenance
coffee.
on that?
I'm
What's
still a
that?
fan.
Was there maintenance there, like methadone or Suboxone or anything
I mean,
like that?
if you were coming off like a serious methadone or Suboxone habit, they would wean you down over like a month's period of time. But like I didn't even go to the detox there. I just went straight.
So it's not harm reduction, is what you're saying, right?
No, this place was started by a woman named Geraldine O. Delaney.
That's quite a name.
GOD. Those are her initials.
Right?
She was friends. She was friends with Bill Wilson and Lois Wilson.
no kidding.
Yeah. The place was started over 60 years ago. Very old school. It's pretty much all run by NAAA people who were in the fellowship. People
Yeah.
who were
Yeah.
in
Wow.
this,
People that have
Absolutely.
the experience.
Right
Yeah.
on.
So I guess that was like my question. I was going to bring up was the mixing of people who are still doing controlled substances.
right.
You know, still getting high is what it is. I mean, you might be, it might be helping you. I'm not saying that doesn't help, but you're getting high, and somebody's standing there and they're trying not to get high, and they're looking at you getting high, going, "That looks good." How do you feel about that, Jack?
Yeah.
I'm torn because when I go by Molina Cass and I see the suffering out there, and in my case of my son, right,
The methadone
when
mile.
he had methadone, he had a ritual of getting up and going to the clinic. Like, he did good on that. Suboxone, not so much.
Right, because
But-
you're handing the addict all of the medication.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm really torn. there's an old NA. I started in NA, and then most of my years were in AA. But there's that recovery guy that's like, oh my God, guys, this is killing you. I don't have a problem with methadone and Suboxone. I have a problem with the cocktail. I have a problem with them coming out of the methadone clinic, and they have all got prescriptions for gabapentin, Neurontin,
absolutely.
all of that stuff. When
Mass
people
Ave
say,
Speedball.
look at them on methadone. Look at them. They're on methadone. I'm like, no, that's not.
Right.
It's not methadone.
Right.
That's all the
and
stuff that they're
like
taking,
my
you know?
opinion is, if you take it the way it's supposed to be taken,
Right.
it's meant as a step down.
Right.
It's not meant to be on for life.
Correct. As
You know?
as a maintenance over a short term to get you off of drugs,
And-
not to
Right.
But
keep you on
they
drugs.
don't tell these people that are signing up for this how fucking addictive this shit is as well.
Right.
Like
right.
the people I've
Yeah, but the
seen
people
suffer
wouldn't
the most
care.
are people trying to kick fucking Suboxone.
Right.
People that are trying to kick Suboxone, that's fucking a long time.
Is it
You know?
really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you,
it's
my son was
very
getting
long
sick
time.
for months in
Months.
jail. You know, it's
Yes.
like
Yep.
bad. And I do get that. You know, I do a medical assisted treatment MATA meeting, we call it,
Yep.
at North Suffolk where I work last night, and we had about 30 people.
Uh-huh.
And you know, I had Paulie in there to tell his story, to bring
Yep.
some hope, but it does sort of go. It flows like that, Chris. I'll have 6 guys on Suboxone
Yeah.
in a 30-man group, and before the group ends in 3 months, I've got 27 people on Suboxone, and you got a point there. So I'm torn. If someone's out there to a place where they're sleeping outside and they're gonna die, whatever keeps them alive
Right,
long enough
right,
for the
exactly.
miracle to happen.
And
I'm all
we've
about
also
it,
we also heard from someone that someone asked them to take him to the work,
Right.
and they said, "Oh, you want anything?" He said, "Yeah, I'm on Suboxone." He said, "Well, I'll take you up to the 3rd step, but I won't go any further." So the kid sought out someone else.
Right.
Someone took him to the work while he was on
Right.
maintenance drugs, got off him, and now he's taking people. He had an experience.
Right
You know what
on.
I mean? Like,
right on.
I can't say if someone's like the information that I have and how I've felt myself. Like, I've been blocked off from God with fucking nothing in my system. You know what I mean?
Right on.
Personally.
Well,
So
I guess what I'm asking, or what I'm trying to bring up, is in an inpatient treatment facility where everyone's trying to change themselves and work on themselves and break themselves out of this lifestyle and change the person they brought in the door. I don't think it's a good mix to have people on maintenance in there in that situation. If you're out in the street and it's either I'm going to go get fentanyl off somebody on the corner, or I'm going to do this prescription, okay, I get that, but I don't know.
Well, now they're not asking, Tom.
No.
In other words, if you get funding, right?
Okay.
If you get funding,
the
which
the
all
place
of
you
them
went
do,
was Jersey, right?
they won't go.
What was the name
for-
of the
They
treatment
have
center you went
to.
through?
They have to
Lena Lodge.
accept medical assisted treatment. They're not asking anymore, or you don't get
Because
funding.
Franny was asking.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what they're up against.
Well, funding is one of the problems.
Right, because
And,
ESAS and Department of Public Health, they're like, like we're not asking you if you want money from the government, from the state,
That's right.
you have
Just
to
keep that.
you have to allow. Oh, you have to allow this. They're not, so they're not giving them a chance. Would you like to? All
That's
of these
right.
places, even
Exactly. So
the
it's
TCs
the
now.
politicians and the insurance companies who are deciding how we treat alcoholics and addicts or addicts.
So what were you talking about, Jack? Like, you have to allow so many people if you take insurance now?
like the old TCs, Meridian House has to take their, medical assisted treatment,
And
They're-
that's
because
under
they're
the
getting funding.
Yeah, that's under the some type of act, right?
Not the CARE Act.
No.
That's the one that's coming up, or they're trying to get passed.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure. All
if
I
you
know
accept-
is they there were programs that wanted to keep it 100% like abstinent, and that's fine. But you've got to be private, nonprofit. You've got to
Yeah.
get your funds somewhere else because these
If you take insurance, you have to allow so many people. And like
Right.
I knew
it's
there was-
all harm reduction now because
Yes.
they look at the numbers and they look at this devastation and they're like,
Yeah.
listen, give them something, just
right.
get them
and
off
and
the
it's
street.
funny
You know,
because
like,
they,
that's,
they take these numbers and these studies and like I'll say it, it's all bullshit. Like they have we're a lot of us are in an anonymous program. How do you study an anonymous program? They base it on like how many times people come in and out. How many times people come in and out. Like
The program
how many
we
times
went
have
to-
people come in, done the work, and stayed?
right.
The
You know, they
program
don't-
Chris and I went to changed over into a new type of program where you can go there for 6 months and get a certificate of completion, you know, and 6 months to a guy coming out of jail in a program, you could do that standing on your head. It's like
Yeah.
nothing. You
Right.
don't have to change.
Yeah,
Right.
because we
Just-
both went through a TC. You know,
just hang out.
I
do
still
nothing.
love that. I still like
listen,
Mike
that-
was talking about like I'm still old school, long term,
yeah.
detox, CSS, then TSS, and then hopefully a therapeutic community or a halfway house.
The stuff that you're coming off nowadays, you could be coming off it for 6 months.
right? And then another year for your head to clear up. You know what I
Right.
mean, there's so. I just when someone does a spin dry through a detox and then moves into a sober house, I just I cringe.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
what are they shot of them staying clean? Like,
right. And what are they doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
what have
right.
they learned?
Right.
You know, it's
right. And I mean, in all fairness, people that work in the detoxes, they're like full, they're blown out, they're burnt out, so they're literally just like keep them comfortable for a few days, and then
Yeah.
show them they have to go to Pat's. 774
Detox is a medical thing.
medical, right?
Detox is for your physical body.
Right.
They're not there. They give you a push in the direction. As far as what my experience.
yeah.
You
That's
you
all
might
it is.
go to some classes. Somebody comes in, they write on a whiteboard.
Commitment, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
or the commitment comes in at night, and you know.
Mm.
But it's medical, and it's for a
But
week, week and a half.
the disparity is real. Here's the disparity. I'm working in the emergency room, and I've got a guy here that is sick.
Mm.
He's got Mass Health. I've got a guy in the next bed in the same room. He's got a private insurance company. My friend here is getting picked up by a limo, suburban, not a limousine, but he's getting picked up and he's taken to a gorgeous place, with memory foam mattresses, yoga, and I don't know, massages and
Yeah.
hand jobs,
Yeah.
but whatever. He's and then the poor bastard next to him. I'm like, well, you're gonna get in my car throwing up, and I'm gonna take you to
Yeah.
Dimmick. I mean, come on, let's be honest. And that's the That's the only time. Listen, if I was going into treatment today, I would want like a nice place. I don't begrudge anybody
It
that
should,
has
insurance
money.
should be insurance. Bottom
Right,
line.
right on.
Like
If
if
you've
you
got
can't
Mass
afford
Health,
it
though,
and it's
man.
provided by the state, they should still be able to have the opportunity to go to these nice places. That's why all these private places popped up all over the place because
right.
okay, all right, you don't have insurance, but you have some money.
Right.
We
Right.
can provide you with a solution.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and they kept popping up and kept popping up. And then what happens is they realize, okay, not everybody's going to have this money. But they do have a PPO. So now we'll start taking insurance.
Right.
But once they start doing that, now it's no longer an abstinent program.
Well,
Right.
You know?
Right.
The other thing is that the point is that, like, is there failure to progress? Is there, you have to work your way through this? You have to work on yourself while you're there? Or are you just sitting in the back of a room watching a guy writing a whiteboard for, 3-4 hours a day while in between you're waiting on the next one and hanging out and talking, glorifying your old
Right.
habits
Yeah.
and then waiting on a meal and whatever.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know
I
that.
mean,
What?
Listen, I've been on every side of it. From taking Suboxone and methadone the way that you're not supposed to take it, taking it the way that it's prescribed to you while you're in detoxes, overdosing on the Bergen Parkway and being scared to death and getting on it, because like I didn't want to die, and going to 2 meetings a day for almost a year, doing the steps with a sponsor on a very low dosage of Suboxone, getting to know my fellowship, and eventually I'm a drug addict, so like you said, like you're going to give me a controlled substance for like a long period of time, and like if I don't have that miraculous change, if I don't have that even though I'm trying to act my way into right thinking, my neural pathways are not healing. They're still being controlled by something that eventually I went from 2 milligrams to 8 milligrams, and from 8 meetings to 2 meetings, and eventually I told myself I needed to get on heroin to get off Suboxone.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know people that have done it as well.
Imagine that.
Literally, that's some brilliant thinking right there. That's.
But I'm just saying, like,
that's what we do.
And I've been in places where I've been trying to get clean, and they have, this was back before it was just completely normal for places to be integrated with, maintenance programs.
Right.
And there were times I would go in there and I couldn't stay sober. I'd be like, dude, I'll trade my sleep meds for your, a quarter of a Suboxone, and I would get kicked out of the TSS every time. I never made it past the TSS, and there have been times where I've been in there with guys, and like they want it. Like the pain was great enough for them, and they want to make some changes, and I've been that guy too. So I don't think they're in the government or the people that are looking at the stats of not like the recovery stats, but the stats of like 65,000 people dying last year, 62,000 people dying the year before that. You start to get up into hundreds of thousands of people dying within a few years. Like the life expectancy rate in this country has dropped for the first time in like 70 years because of the opiate epidemic. So they want. So the politicians want a solution.
Right.
Yeah.
Hysteria.
And they don't care what it is.
And that's what, people are like, wow, this like Narcan works great for bringing people back. Why don't we use the thing that has, the same ingredient in there, and we'll just keep people alive. And, and I go down, to the shelter there on Southampton Street and stand out on Mass Ave and talk to guys, and, half the people are on like meth now. They take their Suboxone.
You know what it is?
They take their Suboxone, and
they're scared.
Yeah, they're scared of dying.
Right.
I would be too if I was out there.
Yeah.
They're
doing the meth during the day so they can get their hustle going,
Yeah.
and then heroin at night to be able to sleep.
So
out
I mean,
there.
there's just no easy solution. I don't envy anybody who has the role of having to make some of these decisions. Like I got to talk to the governor about this, about specifically Suboxone
Of Massachusetts.
Yeah, Charlie Baker.
Baker.
Yeah, and he was very receptive. He at least listened to what like a few of us had to say who had
he
like
knows
real experience.
Too. He's
know?
got it's
So
been close to his heart as well. You know what I mean? Like he's
I like him, man.
Yeah.
I think he's a cool cat.
So what was the outcome of that? He was gathering information about maintenance programs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You know what? I had it was.
Yeah, you had a limited time. I think I remember you telling me.
Like it was just it was a great opportunity, just to speak to someone who can, affect change.
Do something, right?
But I think at the end of the day, like he heard those stories, and then like he has people that he has to answer to, including like however many tens of thousands of voters, and like that's where I kind of the politics and the money, and the government and the treatment. Like I have to part ways there, because it's like I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what has worked for me. I know what has not, but I can't say that to the guy that I'm looking at. That used to be me, that just can't get it right now. And the amount of like people that we keep burying. It's as frustrating as it is. Like there's no easy solution to me other than like open-mindedness, willingness, loving, patience, tolerance, kindness.
Right.
Yes.
Love and tolerance, brother. And isn't that the truth? And if I'm doing this, I've lost anything that has to do with real recovery, a real spirit of helping, right?
Right.
Love and tolerance is our code.
Yeah.
Right.
It
you
can
always
get
want to come from that.
right. We try, but it can be tough when like you're deeply affected by this, or
Right.
like you're passionate about
My phone
this. It's
hasn't
like,
stopped, guys.
Yeah,
So I have couple of days off, and I called Pat C.
yeah.
I called him to pick up one guy because he had decent, and I had to try to get another guy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop, and like my gal's like, Jack, man, you gotta like shut it down, man.
And that's
it's hard because I know that this kid finally called me, man.
I
and
know,
when I'm
I
out
know.
to give him my card out saying that I'll be there for you, brother, and they call, I can't say like, I'm sorry, I'm having lunch with my snookums. You know what I mean? Like, I'd
it's
like
my
to help
day
you,
off,
but
buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, because addicts aren't going to get
Yeah.
need help. 9 to 5.
Right.
They're going to call you at
like
30. And,
like what's like Paulie said.
right.
He just spoke to that guy
Right.
one day,
Right on.
and then
that was an
then here he
incredible
is.
story. What an incredible story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that you do come from a point of love and compassion, but not for junkie behavior.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
you ain't
'Cause-
dope fiending me.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was a time when I'm like, listen, guy, don't shit me and I won't shit you, but I'm looking at
Yeah.
you. Whatever I give a frog's fat ass if you have a piece of paper from some knucklehead that has a power of memorization, some doctor
Yeah.
gave you this. Once it goes in me, I just want more, man. So don't tell
Yeah.
me you have anybody can get a prescription like
Right.
Yep.
You know what
it's
I
like
mean?
okay,
Like,
what
I'm not
is
a fan.
what is the ailment that you have that requires you to take this prescription?
Right.
Did you bullshit your way into this prescription?
Right. You're
Yeah.
drooling
Then
on
why the
yourself,
fuck are you
brother.
still taking
That's
it?
right. That's right.
Why are you still
If
taking it
someone's still-
9 years later?
Right.
Because you're an addict.
Right.
Like if I'm not a doctor, but if you legitimately have a reason, listen, the people that own gabapentin are like, "Ooh, yeah." That drug is 25 years old.
So the same people that
They hit a home run
that
with
got
us.
everybody hooked on drugs is
Yeah.
now making money on the back end.
Oh yeah,
It's
I know.
disgusting.
I seen all that too.
Yeah.
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 That
Yep.
stuff led to more of my relapses than anything. I mean, it was already a relapse, but like,
Yeah. Let's
Gabapentin.
yeah.
let's sell the
100%.
let's sell the pain medication, and now let's sell the replacement therapy for it.
Right.
You
right.
know,
Get it?
and like I know people, lots and lots and lots of people that could put down the drug, they could put down the opiates, so they could put down the OCs, they could put down the Perk 30s, whatever, but stopping like the Johnnies and fucking Adderall and all that other
Weed's
stuff.
big, man. Like everybody, like, listen, Jack, I'm all on board for this recovery thing,
Yeah,
but don't take my weed.
Touch my weed.
yeah.
Like, how's this? We have the worst drug epidemic, in I mean, there are more kids in a certain age bracket dying from drug overdose than dying from automobile accidents.
Right.
I think it's a good time that we give them weed. Like, you know what I mean? So they can just walk in the store and
Give
go,
it to them in something that looks like a little pen. you know,
Yeah,
so
make
they
it
can't
peppermint
differentiate.
flavored.
Yeah.
So they can just bring
Yeah.
it into
you know what I mean?
school.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
it's-
come on, man.
And it's tough because
Well, Chris Rock was right. Chris Rock said, "Listen, let's not. If the government could tax crack, we'd have it in fucking cigarette machines.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Absolutely.
Come on. So now they're making big money off of the weed stores. So
Yeah.
now,
Yeah, but
they
that
wanna-
was
they-
that's never stopped anybody from it being illegal. It's never stopped one single person from smoking it.
True, true.
Guarantee that.
Yeah.
true.
And
Yeah, and there are packies everywhere. That's their
Yeah.
argument. But it just, for me, I guess I'm in the field, so I have a certain. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Are you kidding me now? Because
Jack,
now they're like,
Hey, pretty soon then we might not even have this. You know that, right?
yeah, I know.
They went and voted Tuesday. No, they're trying to ban flavors. How do you ban a flavor? What is your
yeah, come on.
your-
man. Yeah.
why would you want to ban a flavor?
Now it's really personal to me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, in all honesty, right? Talk about addict. I started with a little 51 trio. Let me try it at the mall.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm smoking this thing like I'm going to be electrocuted, man. You know what I mean? Like
I'm right there with you, bro.
anything that's fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I got
Hey,
clean, I was a crystal meth
This
head for
this
3
right
years,
here,
man. That was
this
my
right
thing.
here
Yeah, that's
is
what I ended
is the Suboxone of the cigarette world.
Calling the cops on
Right here.
myself.
Nicotine replacement therapy. This is Suboxone of cigarettes.
Oh, definitely. Yes. Excellent. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on
Yeah.
Sobos here.
I mean, it is.
Smoking my Sobo,
and,
but
and
yeah.
they're trying to regulate that. Like I don't know. I just think that things have gotten way out of hand.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to make decisions for stuff that we are going through. You know what I mean?
Right. And you know the truth of it is, I've got a kid that's family is pretty well off. Good looking kid. He's got his life ahead of him. He's got a beautiful wife. He's been sent to Passages like 4 times. You know what I mean?
What's Passages?
Oh, I used
Passages
to be a drug
Malibu.
addict. I used to be a drug addict. Like, you know, 25
and now I'm
grand
not.
a week, 25 grand a week or something like that.
Yeah.
4 times. I took him to Dimmick. He's still on medical assisted treatment, but he's clean. He hasn't put a needle in his arm for like
Dimmick's
6
great.
months, man. You know what I mean?
Dimmick's been done over. You know
It's
that,
brand
right?
new.
Dimmick,
The
they
building
just
is
jumped
brand
like
new.
$16 million at the Dimmick.
It's beautiful.
It ain't what
man.
it was, dude.
It's not the
No?
old fire escape
Hey,
spot.
listen,
That's too bad.
if someone really wanted to get sober, like you want to get sober,
Right.
you want to go to detox, you sure? Because I can go get you a bed right now. I don't care if it's 11:30 at night.
Right on.
Let's go.
And
You
don't
pull
say
up
it
the
too
Dimmick.
fast, though, Chris, because I had a guy that called every place in the state. The saddest thing is when folks are saying there's plenty of beds. I say spend an evening in the emergency room with me when I've got a guy calling me from Norwell because his daughter's with me, soaking wet from being outside, and I have to give her a $200 cab voucher to take her to Worcester for detox because she has Mass Health. Because nothing in the state, so having to send it to Worcester.
Yeah.
What happened to
it's
to
not-
Shattuck? Isn't that's no more? Or is that around still?
Shattuck has the Andrew House now. That used to be out on Long Island. Shattuck has that, and luckily, I have a friend that works there, so she
one in
really
Stoughton?
tries to help me out. In Stoughton too. It's in Stoughton, and then the Shattuck
in the
Hospital.
Shattuck
have
Hospital?
Yeah, so-
now the Stoughton
'Cause
one
I go
is
to the
just
Stoughton
mail
one
now.
a lot.
Yes.
Stoughton one is just mail
so
beds.
a couple
you know?
weeks ago, a friend of mine, Derek Quirk with Revelations Recovery, he asked me to go on a commitment. So I go on the commitment. I'm like, where are we going? He's like, Andrew House, Stoughton. I'm like, all right. Where is it? He goes, 909 Sumner Street. I'm like, the old Goddard Hospital? He's like, yeah. Well, we pull in there and like all these emotions start flooding through. That's when my mother died. And when she took her last breath, I stole everything out of her purse with like my family outside. You know what I mean? So I had to relive that going in there. You know, had no idea. But we walk in the lobby. There's a kid sitting down, and a lady's like, "You're still down here?" Someone told him, "Come here from the emergency room, and we'll get you a bed." The person bringing us upstairs is like, "We don't have a bed for him." Is anyone gonna fucking tell the kid? Like he's sitting here with like this much hope,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So we were talking like, yo, that's kind of fucked up. You know what I mean?
Right on.
By the time we finished the commitment and walked out, homeboy was sitting in the chair. They had taken him in.
Right on.
You know.
Yeah. That's
good.
Yeah.
There's not enough treatment.
No, there isn't.
There isn't.
There isn't. And the hospitals are inundated. What's the word I'm looking for?
Inundated.
Inundated. Thank you. But yeah. So in all fairness, I've got nurse case managers, doctors, and I just like plant my ass in the psych ward over in Everett, and they're all day. In Cambridge, we have four beds just for and alcoholism. By the way, is still the great remover. It's killing more people. a day
Everyone's
than
talking about the
anything else.
opioid epidemic,
Right.
but alcoholism is insane still.
Constant, brother. Constant.
I'd rather deal with a junkie than an alcoholic. I think.
But not only that,
it's
not only
easier.
not only in the emergency room, so on the floors. I go to the floors on both hospitals.
Yeah.
And seeing folks whose liver's gone. 32 years old. A kid died the other night.
Really.
Alcoholism.
Wow.
32.
Shut down, man. Like I'm talking.
Wow.
And there's I'm bumping into a lot of old heroin addicts that just drank. Total like.
Oh, so they're like, oh no,
alcoholics now.
I didn't go back to heroin. I just started drinking.
And their livers falling. Yeah.
That
Because
Really,
they
really
probably
bad
damaged
state,
the
man.
piss out of it back in the day.
Right.
That
on.
was
You
the
know?
story. That was the story when I first went to my first detox. I came home from that, and I was like, these idiots telling me I can't drink. I'm a heroin addict.
Whoa.
And I drank right away.
Well, you know my buddy Mike.
DPH shut down Plymouth High Point. Some places now have a 3 to 5 day wait for beds due to this sudden action.
Why did they shut it down?
I don't know. That's from my boy Don Young over at South Shore Peer Recovery.
Well, if it came from him, it's a good source, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So now there's
that's
no
gonna
Plymouth
hurt.
High Point.
Wow, that's
so
been
that's a
around
lot.
for
What's
long.
that? 70 beds?
Yeah.
Are they gonna
well,
put
That was
it
one of
back?
my other favorite spots.
yeah.
Are they
yeah.
gonna put it back going again? Or is this permanent?
who
Because
knows?
now,
Yeah, I
they're
did
connected
hear
with
something.
the Brockton High
Yeah.
Point.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was the first time.
Don, do you know
Wasn't
why?
The man.
Any reason why?
I did hear something recently.
What's up, Pete?
I can't.
Wow, that's totally new to me, man.
I thought it was just one side that they shut down.
Oh,
I feel that we need at least one treatment center out there that isn't beholden to state money or to insurance money,
right on.
and the people can go there for free. And this is our plan that what we're gonna do.
Yeah. This plan of action is going
We
to
have
happen.
a plan of action. It might not be right tomorrow, but it's gonna happen.
on.
I think my buddy Pete, Brockton Pete, who chimed in just now, he's works
Brockton
in
Pete?
treatment down in
I don't know.
Connecticut. I think you're over in Connecticut, right, Pete? I know he's. I'm pretty sure he's working in treatment, and like, dude struggled for a long time,
Right
long
on.
time. Like,
Right on.
I've known him since back in junior high. We were in the sped classes, chapter 1.
I'll tell you, soldiers are needed too. And I'm looking at some young guys, man. You guys, they're gonna hear something from you. They're not gonna hear from 60-year-old Jackson.
Nah, that ain't true, bro.
That
No,
ain't
no,
true.
no,
They hear.
no. But I'm saying, but what I love is when the young people get a few years clean and they become recovery coaches and they're in the drug courts. Like, these people are so close to the problem, man. They just left that place a couple of years ago, so the identification is huge.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. And we need more young people getting active and getting their voices in the field, because it's a lot. It's a lot of older folks that have
So
been around
here's
for,
some more
since,
information. My buddy Pete said Brockton TC Teen Challenge is opening a 100-bed detox,
Right
and they're
on.
opening a 30-day detox as well.
Whoa!
Teen Challenge.
30-day.
Can I get his
detox?
number?
Yeah,
30-day detox.
Can I have your number, brother?
I know, right? He's out. He
That's a
works
big
at
deal.
Teen
Like,
Challenge, I think, in Connecticut. I think
Oh.
he's out there, but
Because I've
Brockton,
sent
he
guys
still has
to,
connections.
Brockton one here,
He
yeah.
still has connections. Yeah.
What?
Right.
It's probably like a CSS.
Yeah.
I
What's
think.
that?
Yeah.
Thanks
It's
for
like-
that info,
it's
Pete.
like a week
That'll be
detox
It's a
helpful.
couple of weeks.
1 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
In the same
My
building.
boy might want your
All
number,
right.
so if you get a message in your DM.
That's like what High Point was.
We used to call it
Yeah.
a holding.
Yeah.
Now it's CSS from detox, sort of gives you
Yeah,
extended
clinical
treatment.
clinical
Yeah,
stabilization.
holding. I've been through
and then
that
TC,
process.
Yeah.
and then the
I was-
TSS was like the
TSS,
holding
thank you,
now,
is,
yeah.
is longer.
I was
yeah.
in a holding at Kingston House. They have a holding upstairs. Kingston House is a wet shelter.
Yeah.
So I'm here at Kingston House, middle of
In
winter.
downtown Boston.
Downtown
Yeah.
Boston,
Yeah.
middle of the winter. And they stack the bunks in there
Yeah.
in the wintertime so that they're right next to each other and you have to crawl off the end to get off. That's how many people they stack in that room.
Yeah.
And the ambulance was there every night taking somebody out of there, and it didn't smell too good, and it was a eye-opening experience. I used to serve them the food, we used to clean up after them and all that stuff, but I was only there for a little while, and then my grandmother got me on the phone. I remember being on the payphone. She was living in Florida, and her husband was running a program down there at the Salvation Army. He's like, "Come down to Florida." She's like, "Come down to Florida and get sober." I'm like, "I'm all over that."
Right
man.
on.
Yeah.
Right on. Get me out of here.
Get me out of here. But that
And
was an
believe me, there were
eye-opener.
nights I worked across the street on Chauncey Street for Span for like 17 years, and when I could get a guy on a rubber mat at Kingston House, I was like, yes, score. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, so it's
he's
gonna
not
be-
going to be on the street tonight.
So it's going to be
you
a
know what I
full
mean?
on
Like,
full on detox for Teen Challenge.
Right
and he put his
on.
later on. He's got his number in here. You can grab it.
right on. Those guys are beautiful. They've come right out to drug court, man. I do East Boston and Lynn drug court. They've come right
Teen
out there.
Challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And grab guy, and it's not just teens, by the way.
Oh,
Some
no, no,
people
no, no.
still have that.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
but they'll send out
And
people, man.
like they're faith based.
yeah.
Which
yeah.
that's what we need.
That's what
you
we
know what I'm
need.
saying. Like the whole thing is to draw your power from something greater than you.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So
And it, and that's not going to work for everybody.
no.
But thank
Right.
God it's going to work for some.
gonna
You
work
know what I
for
mean?
some.
I'm glad. Yeah,
man.
I'm glad it worked
Yeah.
for me. Like
Yeah.
I know how he ran.
Right
He
on.
knows how I ran. You know what I mean? Like we were
Yeah.
around the same circles.
Right
and
on.
like I'm glad that he's doing good. You know, I've said it before. I got caught up in this a lot younger, and I'm seeing the people who weren't caught up in this, who had their careers, had their lives, were doing okay. Now they have all that stuff. Now they're getting caught up, and they're losing all that stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
people that we grew up with, like, are like throwing their entire life away now,
Yep.
and they're dying, and
Right.
it's sad. It's sad to see.
It you know, that story about the Kingston House just reminded me of going to Florida, and I was down the Sally there. I went there twice, but the first time was like I went through the whole Salvation Army program. It was called the VIP program. It was like a special program that my step grandfather made for that particular Sally, and but it gave me a lot of knowledge. It gave me you know, I don't think I really healed trauma while I was there, but it you know, but what it did was it was kind of like a vacation. It was a go get sober for vacation. And I was there for 6 months, not at this program, but down in Florida for 6 months. But when I come back, I come back and I didn't have anything going. Like, I didn't have a support system. I didn't have friends who were sober. I didn't have meetings. I didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was starting cold, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I know all kinds of people. They all do drugs.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so important, the continuum
You know?
of care. So now
Yeah.
I'm seeing
Transition into life.
Right
Yes,
on.
You know
yes.
what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
like going from treatment to here you go.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
All the shit that you ran away from, here it is, right back at you.
Rock
You
on
know,
face
Yeah.
without any support system.
and like gradually transitioning. Oh, Morgan said hi. Morgan, yeah, she chimed in and said, Jackie.
Morgan, what's up?
So yeah, and that's the thing. Like, treatment has lost something along the way, I believe. Unfortunately, recovery is a business. It's a big business now,
Right.
and lots of money is made off of it.
Yeah, when
you
you
know.
see a billboard about a recovery place, it's a big business. At
Yeah,
this point.
and
Yeah.
like, I know,
Nothing
like there's
wrong with it
places
getting
out there that are sober living that are taking insurance,
Right.
and
Right. I
it's
mean,
it's like
Yeah.
almost $200 a day
and
that
listen,
they get.
not everybody.
Wow.
The only problem that I have with it is the population. When I would go to, they had I guess you would call it a drug and alcohol council. Every year there was a symposium out of the Cape, and there would be, I don't know, 150, 200 tables, and I'd walk around to them, and I wanted to pull a Jesus in there and just start flipping tables, because I'm like,
Oh, in the temple.
not
yeah.
one fucking table could help anybody in my population. 17, I'm picking up guys out of Walpole, a prison, like none of them have master medical, like to go to,
Yeah,
you know, Eric
understand.
Clapton had a play, you know, like Antigua for, come on, man. So I don't disparage anybody that has money, that comes, like, use it. I'd want to be in a nice place, but don't give me all the information for all these places that I can't use for anybody that's in the emergency room with me, or
Yeah,
anybody that's
yeah,
done
yeah.
time, that has luck, and maybe not even Mass Health. Like, you got to help them sign up for Mass Health.
Right.
Like, sure, because I will fill up your place if you know, you'll take, but not one of them, except for the NA table,
Yeah.
was the only one that could help
So this is at
anybody that
outreach.
I worked with. No, this was at a symposium on addiction every year they had down the Cape,
Oh, really?
and like it would unnerve me.
When
I just-
all cards read zero, that is when you need you. First of all, you're the most lost. You're most willing. You need somebody to be there for you, to bring you away from society, and this is what I believe, to break you down and to build you back up and to transition you out into the world again. Because when all cards read zero, you don't have insurance. You haven't been taking care of
Right
Mass
on.
Health, so you maintain that.
no more union. That's right.
No
You're
more
out the
union,
street,
no
man.
more
Yeah,
anything. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's
Because
right.
when you're on Mass Health, you like every year or every 6 months, whatever it is, you got to write out a little piece of paper and tell them all about you and sign it back in, or you got to pay the $40. I remember, something like that. It doesn't happen when your cards are reading zero, when you're hitting bottom. That's the most willing you're going to be.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to work the best.
Right. And like, it would be awesome if we could get people before they get to that point.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right
Sure.
Like,
Well,
which
there's
is
plenty
why
of facilities that will take you in.
which
when
is
you
why
have insurance.
now
There's
we
plenty
have
of facilities.
now we have like no first time. John and Stephanie
yeah,
Green,
now you're
they go into schools
before they
so,
even start.
So before the kids even start doing
Yeah,
anything.
Speakers for Hope I did with Steve
That's the
Sweeney.
kind of treatment that I wish.
Chris
that would
Herron,
really
the Herron
work.
Project, all that. Like,
I
let's
do-
get
I
them
do a lot
before
of
they.
schools.
Yeah, you do it as well, right?
Right
Yeah,
on.
let's talk a little bit about that, Skinny. What is it you're doing in the schools?
Well, regretfully, I haven't.
Plus,
I
it's
just-
summertime.
I haven't gotten as involved up here in Boston, but like in New Jersey's where I got sober.
Yep.
And my first year I was inpatient, so
Yeah.
I wasn't doing anything. You don't leave, you don't call, you don't get calls, nothing.
For
so
the whole year.
yeah, I did not use a telephone for not even a landline. You could
Wow,
write
that's
letters with
hardcore.
immediate family. That's it.
That's hardcore.
Which
It was
you
amazing.
know, it's
It
they're
was,
distractions.
It was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
All
but,
all it can take for a guy to leave is like, I miss you. I want you to come home.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why we had 30 days no contact.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, it might not be realistic. I actually said when I was asked for if I had any suggestions when I got to talk to Governor Baker, I was like, yeah, buy like 10 acres somewhere out in the western Massachusetts and just like build like
Put up
dorms,
Quonset huts.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Right on.
first level, second level, third level.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought.
You
So-
were in the
so
in the
You in
schools.
the
Jersey.
schools,
Jersey
yeah.
and
So
schools.
so when I got out, I went to a sober living house, which was amazing. It was called the Milestone House. The place I was at was Alena Lodge, and then I went to the Milestone House, and I had to literally start from the ground up. Like I lived off the state, from my health insurance to my food stamps to cash assistance to renter's assistance to transportation, and I was a busboy. I was a 39-year-old, 40-year-old busboy
Get
at
well
an Italian
job.
restaurant. Like
Wow.
I
Get
That's
well job.
for
what I
9
had
months.
to do.
But while I was doing that, I also took the course to become a peer recovery specialist. I
Beautiful.
got involved in my fellowship. I got involved in advocacy in the state of New Jersey for the Partnership for Drug-Free New Jersey, and then I started working for a company called CARES, Center for Addiction Recovery
And stuff.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
and
gonna kill me if they
stuff.
listen to this. But, education and success. I'm sorry.
There you go.
So
Nice.
basically, that's what they do. Like their peer recovery specialists go to the hospital if
Alright.
if somebody overdoses. Like they get their work hand in hand with the Morris County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, so
and,
basically recovery coach like
yeah,
Jack does.
like is going on right here, and
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that stuff is so effective, and more of it needs to be done. But like through that, they asked me to speak at a middle school one day, and I was like, and I come from a performing background, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
well, this is a little different though, It's,
Yeah,
I'm
throw you
talking
under
to
the bus there.
like you look at 12-year-olds and like they are young, like they are like
Yeah.
babies. My nephew
yeah.
is about to turn 12, like they are babies, and I'm like, okay, I got to give like the G-rated version of
I
my
know,
story,
I know.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
next to
Yeah.
impossible. But
Right.
anyway, so
Could you
long
imagine
story
me-
short, like somebody saw and they like, it was kind of like a word of mouth thing, and then I got asked to do a high school, and then like one guidance counselor talked to another, and then I was working with the police department. Next thing you know, I'm doing all of these high school events and then like college events, and then I
Nice.
partnered with a lady named Vicki Mulligan who runs a company called Life Center Stage, and it's about engaging people who are in recovery or families of people affected by any sort of addiction to mix the arts with recovery, and then we
Beautiful.
through them and
like
the
Susan,
IOP I
like
went
Susie's
to-
doing with recovery graffiti.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
So we go to colleges, we go to high schools, and I, like myself and other people will
stuff.
tell their story and mix in poetry with it, mix in music with it,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
and have law enforcement there, and have government there, and have parents or siblings who have lost loved ones
Yep.
due to overdoses. We had
Yeah.
the last event that I was at, everybody from drug court in the county had to be there. They were stipulated there. So
I love it. I love
I
it.
made, I made a few jokes
Captive
about that there, and they
audience.
loved it, man. Like it was
Yeah.
like it was everyone kind of coming together for one common purpose, rather than just like pointing the finger
Yes.
Right on.
and saying,
And that's the
"How
thing,
can
like,
we
you
all
need-
help."
You
Yeah.
need unity in
Right.
this whole recovery and treatment thing. And I know people that are working that angle, and they do that. But there's also people that are like, nah,
Yeah, of course, and it's not for everybody, but it's like, I can't change the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't make everybody sober. I can't make everybody drunk. I can't make one person sober or drunk or high. But what I can do is change myself. What I can do is do what the four of us try to do to the best of our ability, is like affect change by being the change that we want to see.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right on.
Be the change. That's
Beautiful.
like a great saying.
It
If
is
you
a
want
good
something
saying.
to change,
It's a good one.
do it yourself. You know
Right
what I mean?
on. Yeah.
Because there's no black and white answer. There's I wish there was. I wish
So do
everybody
I.
could go to the place I went to.
Yeah.
You know, I have
Right on.
my best friend. Was fortunate enough to be able to put a bunch of money down for me to go to this place for 2 months, and then they scholarship me the 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, I was coming up through, just 12-step fellowship. I was very narrow-minded. I was.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And like, I think doing this and getting more involved in places like A New Way and social peer recovery, and it's like opened up, I'm more open-minded. Listen, I don't give a shit how you get here. Just
Right
fucking
on.
get
Yeah,
here.
that's
Well,
right.
just be the best. Just
That's
learn
right.
to become the best human being and have
Yeah.
the most fulfilling life that you can.
The
because
only
it's-
person you got to be true to is you.
Right.
Like, if you think it's wrong, it's wrong. If you don't think you should be doing that, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know?
But also this, it's a waste. It's a waste of life. It's a waste of talent. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's a shame. And there are better ways. There's a better life, and that's another thing that I think that there has to be a component of attraction.
Yes.
And the more we can get it out there that we're living fantastic lives.
Yeah.
We're living real lives. We're able to cope with adult stuff easily.
Yeah. You know how many
Get
cures?
sober.
You know how many cures for diseases and inventions and all that shit aren't going to come to fruition because people are
Because
out there fucking struggling?
People are stuffing.
There's brilliant people out
oxys
there.
in their fucking.
There's
face.
brilliant people
That's what
out
I
there.
try to impress
Sure.
upon, especially the
Yeah,
younger
man.
people, that the lie, you guys, is that there was ever anything fucking missing from you.
Right.
You're perfect.
Right.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
You're
Like,
already all right.
Crazy
Don't-
Tommy, you're already all right.
right. But this fallacy that you need, that I told myself a lie, that I needed something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I didn't see how fucking perfect I was. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Right.
not
That's
in
right.
an ego way, but you know what I'm saying? Like, these kids, when you see them, like Shane, so sorry for Linnell, his mom, but these beautiful kids,
Yeah.
right? It's like the lie that they need something, anything outside of themselves to make them
Absolutely.
any better than they already are, right?
Yep.
And that there is recovery is possible, and no
That's
matter how
right.
they get there, and the judges, every judge that I have met in every drug court has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Totally different from Dorchester Court back in the day. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right,
Like
right.
you're going to Deer Island. Like
Yeah,
that was like there was you got a joint in the ashtray. That's it. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
now these guys are going out of their way to really, and they got hearts and
Yep.
and I give them props. You know,
'Cause they
that,
see
that,
it.
Yeah,
Listen,
they realize they don't have enough.
I don't
space
think
to
there's-
arrest everybody, man, and it's not working anyway.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
many people that you could just stop on the street and say, "Are you affected by addiction?" And they say no.
Right.
Honestly,
some way.
Yeah.
someone in their
some way,
family.
yeah.
It's,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
Somebody
just
they
that.
know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of. It's
If
kind
they
of.
say no, I say, well, you are now. I'm an addict.
And we can't even see like what the devastation to
Right.
the
Ripples.
children that
Yeah.
have either one or both parents that are either addicted or
A whole
dead.
generation.
Like
Grandparents raising
15,
kids,
20
yeah.
years from now, what that's going to look like.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
right.
support groups for grandparents raising kids. I think
Yeah.
they have one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or SSPR, I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
But again, like those are things that are just
Right.
It's,
And
it's
I
like,
think
so
we
what do? You try to
underestimate-
show up for if there are some kids in your life that you can show up for.
Yeah.
You know, Lord knows, like I try to do that for kids and parents of friends of mine that
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
that I've
Yeah.
lost.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
And if the kid doesn't get it, I still stay in contact with the parents.
Yeah.
who like have become friends. You know,
Yeah,
and
right.
How's she doing? Not too good. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
you know my number. You know, like always
And then
keeping that.
then you one of these days you're gonna get that call,
But it sounds like
You
a
know?
lot of.
Yeah,
it
one
sounds
call
like
or
a
the
lot of
other.
gloom and doom,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
but it's
does,
not.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. When I go to a graduation, and I see like a Lynn kid, I mean a room full of guys and gals, clean, that came in bloody,
Oh,
beaten, in handcuffs and shackles.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
see them now with their partners, husbands, wife, their children come to the court. They
Yeah.
graduate. These judges are in tears.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
You know?
Deal.
And so there is hope.
yeah,
But it's going to take, like, somebody really has to, like, you really have to speak on your own behalf today. If you end up in a public detox, you could still, listen.
Oh.
Don't let me leave here. I have to go somewhere
That's
else. Like, this
yeah.
is just
Yeah.
like, I need, somebody's got to really, like, a closed
Advocate
mouth don't get
for
fed,
yourself.
You know, like, you
Advocate
really do.
for yourself,
You
because
really do, man.
there's
Yeah.
if there's work that needs to be done, you need to put in some action.
Right on.
Because, like you said earlier, these people are burnt out. These people are like, oh, this kid didn't
they're
ask for
toast.
further treatment. I ain't fucking saying a word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You've been in my
And-
emergency room 6 times this month, man. I'm tired. And
Yeah.
you swear, and we're not real charming either.
Right.
I know I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys something new.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking sandwich.
Yeah,
Jeez, I
right.
wonder why
Yeah.
the nurses are pissed
I'm
off
in
at us.
fucking pain!
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right,
I think
right.
They're over in the corner like, well, you shouldn't have
Right.
stuck a needle in your arm,
Yeah,
asshole.
right,
I think I got an invitation to be there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Where's my sandwich? This
Yeah.
Jello sucks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
No, buddy, you suck.
Yeah.
And unsucking yourself is pretty hard.
Well,
you know?
and that's and pairing us. I mean,
Yeah.
so now they're a total pain in the ass. Our people, me, right? I'd be a pain in the ass in every emergency room I was in Quincy,
yeah, yeah.
crying for help, and these people
Yeah.
patch me up and send me on my way, and I'm crying, but they didn't. They didn't have the kind of help that I needed.
Right.
I need my spirit was.
But I think
broken,
it's
right?
great now
Yeah.
that, like, someone overdoses and, later on, I mean, I don't know. It depends on the person. The cops show up at the house to see, are you okay?
Right.
Are you still looking for treatment?
Right on.
Like, such a loss in Brockton. The
Right.
mayor, Carpenter,
Oh,
passing
I
away.
know, man.
That
He did
dude,
big things,
that
bro.
dude, he did a lot of stuff.
Heart of gold.
He did a lot
Right.
of stuff for
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
And I always put it
You
out
know.
there. My sons, these Quincy police and EMTs have saved my son's life on numerous occasions.
Yes.
So it's personal to me.
yes,
Don't misunderstand me. I think they're fantastic. man.
absolutely. They got a job
and
to do as well.
And
You know
that's
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
They have a job to do is right. But I think more times than not now they're open at least
Yes.
to saying, "Come on, let's get this." This isn't a criminal.
Right.
This isn't a Brinks truck robber. This kid's an addict and
Yeah.
he needs help, right? And they're
Not
more willing to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More
He
willing
could be a
to-
Brinks truck robber.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
day
Which
long,
is
you know,
advantageous for them to get them sober.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
but I've been helped by countless law enforcement, EMTs.
Right on.
I think that's a part of treatment. That's a layer of treatment. Maybe the first layer a lot
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I wasn't going to jail and stuff, I might not have gotten real serious about it.
Right.
Yeah. And so,
maybe
what
I
about
would've,
did everyone hear about the guy who overdosed on the airplane? There was no Narcan
Yeah,
available.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
And
they're
the
trying to say they're
comments I
gonna.
got made me
I
sick,
carry
you know?
Narcan with me.
So
wherever
now
I
they're
go,
trying to
on
say
airplanes.
they're gonna sue the airlines.
I have it in my cooler in my
You
car.
know, they're saying they're
Yeah.
gonna sue the airlines. You know, if that was the case, and you could do that, fucking Dunkin' Donuts would not be available anymore. Because you know how many people have died in those bathrooms.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
No, but
It's-
I will say this too. I've got a kid that owns a vape shop in Bridgewater. He's got a kit,
yeah,
the Narcan kit that
can-
Plymouth County gives
Yep.
him to put in retail stores in Bridgewater.
Yeah.
that have everything that you need to you know. What I
yeah.
mean?
It was you that posted that.
I did,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
But when it comes to the planes things, brother, I have to. If someone has a heart attack, they've got the paddles.
right.
There's still this stigma that So with a first aid kit on a plane, you should have fucking Narcan.
Exactly.
You know what
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying.
Exactly. I mean,
you know.
yeah.
I OD'd at an airport, so
Right on.
Preaching to the choir. I was just scared they would take my stuff if I went through security. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why I did it before,
Right.
And not if I had done.
Yeah,
it on
because
a
if
plane,
you
like,
get scanned, what's that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, no, I'll going out on a limb that they could not mess with you if you had Narcan on you any place in the state.
No. He's saying that's why he overdosed, is because he had stuff on him.
Oh,
And he wanted to do it before he went through
Oh,
security.
right.
That's why I didn't overdose on the plane. I overdosed
Right on.
in the airport.
You know.
Mike never made it to the plane.
And that's the
I
thing.
know,
It
I never made it.
Wow.
Never made it.
Wow.
It should have. It should be on a plane.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Right on.
If you
Yeah,
got
I thought about that last time I was on a plane. I was like, what would you do? Like,
That's
the
right.
person
Yeah.
would just
That guy died, and now they will probably
When
have
was
it on a
this?
plane.
well, they said it was like 3 days ago, 4 days
few
ago.
days ago, yeah.
Even the threat of
I
a
posted
lawsuit.
it, and
So
I got
Delta
remarks
said-
like,
You know, we'll get that
disgusting
on there.
remarks like it's not our responsibility that he shot up in a plane. You're like, come on, man.
And
You know,
Yeah.
Delta's
come on.
response was by
That's
the
sick
fall,
shit. Like,
every plane will have Narcan.
Yeah, that's
So
that's
they
what
were
I'm
they were
saying.
receptive and they were responsive.
right
you know,
on.
And
Right, yeah.
one guess where the plane originated from.
Here?
Yes, Boston to L.A.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Perfect.
it's a long trip too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Paulie's old route.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
All right,
but
guy. well, hopefully this
nightmare.
episode was somewhat,
Confuse you thoroughly.
Yeah,
Yes.
somewhat
'cause we're
Yeah.
all
Coherent
over the
about-
place.
Hey, I
about,
can't read
treatment.
something. I can't read the
Read whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to
Come on.
read this to speak to sort of end it on a good note.
Is it AA literature?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Not cool.
No, it's cool with me, but hopefully it
Is
doesn't
that cool?
offend
So-
anybody.
So I mean, this is for me. This is an eye opener for why like we want to we do what we do, right? God in His wisdom selected this group of men and women to be the purveyors of His goodness. In selecting them through whom to bring about this phenomenon, He went not to the proud, the mighty, the famous, or the brilliant. He went to the humble, the sick, the unfortunate. He went right to the drunkard, the so-called weakling of the world. Well might He have said to us, unto your weak and feeble hands I have entrusted a power beyond estimate. To you has been given that which has been denied most of His learned fellows, not the scientists, statesmen, wives, mothers, not even priests or ministers, have I given this gift of healing other alcoholics and addicts, which I entrust to you. It must be used unselfishly. It carries with it grave responsibility. No day can be too long, no demands upon your time too urgent, no case too pitiful, too hard, no effort too great. It must be used with tolerance. I'm going to skip because I know it's a long thing here. You must be prepared for adversity. Okay, you were not selected. This is what I love when I think that, you were not selected for your exceptional talents, and be careful always, if success attends your effort, not to ascribe to personal superiority that which lay claim only the virtue of my gift. If I had wanted learned men to accomplish this mission, the power would have been entrusted to the physician, the scientist. If I wanted eloquent men, there would have been many anxious for the assignment, for talk is the easiest of the talents which I have endowed to mankind. If I had wanted scholarly men, the world is full of better qualified men than you who would be available. You were selected because you have been outcasts of the world, and your long experience as drunkards and addicts has made or should make you humbly alert to the cries of distress that come from the lonely hearts of alcoholics and addicts everywhere. I add addicts. And it talks about what this is really about.
Yeah.
We started talking, Mike, about love and tolerance.
Yep.
I know when I'm in trouble is when I start to say, I, right? That's coming out of my lane. If it's not coming from love and tolerance, I need to step out. Before I go and talk to a brother or sister, I ask God to go before me, because I'll screw it up. My ego is not my amigo. I'll say something goofy. If I ask God, then there's nothing wrong I can say, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time, brother, they don't want help. I'm getting them a juice, a blanket, because they're freezing. They're coming off, they just overdose. Sitting there and
Just
holding
being
their
kind.
hand. Just being kind. And listen, dude, I'm not ready. I'm going to go. But just letting them know that you were there for them, right? That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Right.
Not about, cha-ching, cha-ching.
No.
You know what I mean?
Been there, dude. Like
Beautiful.
Yeah, right on.
guys at the corner of Morrissey and Freeport.
Right.
bro, you don't have to do this. Here's a couple bucks.
Right on.
It's like, what do you mean? I said, I was you.
Yep.
Right
Been
on.
you.
Yep.
Right on.
Just haven't done that in 17 years. And dude just like looking at me like,
Yep.
really?
Right on.
I'm like, have a good day. Well,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once a guy was walking around with a cup, you know, on the at the I think it was
Intersections.
Columbia Road,
Mm.
and I handed him the first 164 pages of the little big book.
Right
I
on.
saw him. I saw him on my rearview mirror. He started opening it.
Hey, if he didn't read it, maybe someone else did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
right.
somebody
Yeah.
he knew did.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's
All right,
about all we
that's
got.
gonna be a wrap right
yes.
there.
All right, folks. Sorry for the hiccup in the beginning, but
Yeah.
you know, once again, I'd like to thank Jack and Skinny.
Thank you guys.
Anything you guys want to plug before we check out real quick?
I
Website,
should plug my
Oh, here
buddy's
you go.
shirt.
yeah, faith driven.
Drive.
Faith driven.
Faith-driven,
yeah.
baby.
Faith-driven,
You can
okay.
find it
Faith-driven
on,
apparel.
Facebook.
Right on.
Andrew Constantino.
Nice.
Thank you so much,
Good dude.
everybody who tuned in.
Yes, thank you for all the interaction too.
Thanks, guys.
This was great. You know, everybody chiming in.
brother.
Yeah.
I think it's the most comments we've had. Appreciate it, guys.
Right
All
on.
right, peace.
Peace.